use this term digital infrastructure. So tell us a little bit what you mean by that and how Airspace Link is kind of creating that as part of today's industry and the industry of the future.
Yeah, so I think I talk about guardrails and speed limits, and we used to build all these asset management systems in the past, the infrastructure and where our assets at, the speed limits and the street center lines and the curves and all those types of things. You don't see that in the airspace, whether you're a recreational or Part 107 pilot or advanced operator. The airspace is always changing. It's changing constantly, and the things that you're flying over are changing constantly. And to us, most of that is digital. You just can't see it, whether it be a temporary flight restriction, weather, ceiling heights, whatever that might be. To us, it's digital and it's moving around, but you can't see it. So we're the interface into that. We create the interface to whatever operation you want to do, but then give you context of what's happening on the ground and in the airspace. So to us, that's digital. Now, it can be coming from physical infrastructure, whether it be coming from radar or remote ID, or telemetry from the drone. Hardware is providing some of this data, but it's ultimately being fed into a digital world, digital twin type system to support operators for their safety systems. So that is our digital infrastructure, is the systems required to support operators.
I know you on your website refer that to kind of to that as like maps in the sky. By the way,
Yes.
Everybody out there, I know you're out there. Just want to remind you, this is live. I'm sure you've got questions for Michael, and if you don't have questions, just tell us where you're coming from and give us some positive encouragement. We love to hear from you. But Michael, I want to talk about something you all just released, and then I'm going to back it up to kind of go through all of your other products to explain the context of this latest release. So you have this thing called the hub, the Airspace Link Hub, and tell us about what you just released, like in the last couple of weeks or within the last 30 days.
Yeah, so it's the Air Hub portal. We call it the platform, or our platform right now. So over the past 3 years, we've been working with operators at all levels, whether it be recreational, mobile devices, Part 107, COAs, tactical beyond visual line set waivers, customizing their airspace, creating transportation planning, safety systems, area of operations 135 approval process. All of these systems and technology we've been working on, it's almost like there's individual apps for it. So we have pilots that use pilot apps for planning their flights and operations. But then we have backend systems that are used for supporting the data, the air data, the ground data, and the editing of the tools it publishes into that, and some transportation planning tools. And then we have advanced system for the larger operators that are trying to build out these safety cases, and they have their own policies. We can't fly over certain areas based on our own policies for our company, and maybe we don't want to fly over a certain number of people and things like that. So all these models and technology is kind of sitting in these separate silo systems. What AirHub Portal allows us to do is that, a lot of these operators want to do some of the planning, want to publish some of their own data, maybe from the government, and then do their own mixtures and mix that all up into their digital infrastructure. So what we're doing is create a platform that when you log in, you can add all these different features and functions. You might be a pilot, but you might be a planner. You might be a public safety pilot, but you're also creating advisories of what's going on. Or you might need to fly under Part 107, but then an hour later, go fly on the Vantage system up in North Dakota, which is a much more advanced platform. Instead of having all these systems and connection, we just put it into this single platform that allows you to mix and match certain data and functions depending on what your use case is at that moment. And that's what AirHub Portal is. It's putting it into a single system, and it just changes what your interface looks like depending on who you are and your license level.